Oh, what is going on, guys? Disney Dan here. Welcome back into the channel and welcome to episode number 22 of Disney Fiasco. It's been an absolutely crazy week, but we are back here. It's Saturday, it's Disney Fiasco Day, and I am joined once again by a very special guest, and that is Walt from Mouse Talk. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm great, Dan. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. It's a pleasure to be on your Disney Fiasco episode 22. So we definitely appreciate it. Well, I say we, but it's just me tonight. I'm going solo. Melissa's working.
Going solo today, but thank you so much for jumping in last minute. We got some amazing people in the chat. We got Juan and Jess. Jess is here. Steve's World, Noah, Kay Atwood. Just lots of great people turning up today for Disney Fiasco episode number 22. But you're wondering, the other two fiascos are not here. Corey, unfortunately, again, is unavailable. But Megan, again, she's actually just got a little bit of a migraine, so she's just taking the week off. But Megan hopefully will be back next week, so we're going to send her prayers, and hopefully she gets better soon. We've got who else we got in the chat? We got Mark Out Loud is here. Welcome, Mark. A long time no see, my friend. D&G Explorers, how are you guys? Good to see you guys back here on Disney Fiasco. Yeah, so thank you, Walt, for being here last minute, and I think we have a very special guest joining us as well. We have our Disney Adventures here.
Oh, yay, I did it.
Yeah,
you're on.
How are you?
Good. I wasn't sure if I'd be able to figure it out fast enough.
So if you guys haven't checked out our Disney Adventures, I think we're going back to when you guys had maybe like 19 subscribers.
That or less. Yes, Dan.
Less?
That or less. That was you there.
And I just remember it was me, Zoe from Wishing Mouse,
Yeah.
and Jess. We were just following you around Epcot, which is convenient because that's what we're going to be talking about today. And we've just seen you guys just blow up. You guys are over 1,000 subscribers, and it's just crazy. So I just want to say again to both of you, thank you so much for joining me last minute.
Invite, Dan. Yeah, no, thank you.
R. Johns is here from Magic Kingdom. Okay, guys, once this live stream is finished, right now, Resort TV 1, my friends Josh and Jenna and R. Johns are live from Magic Kingdom, so please go show them some love as well. John is here. Awesome. Okay. So, if you've never been to Disney Fiasco before, if this is your first time here, this is how the show works. We are going to be talking about a topic. Today, we're talking about the future world of Epcot. And we're just going to go around and talk about our favorite things about Future World. It could be absolutely anything. And we're just going to brainstorm and just discuss everything that's going on. Now, if you haven't heard the news, Spaceship Earth is shutting down for nearly 2.5 years.
What?
Yeah, Spaceship Earth is shutting down for 2.5 years. Breaking news. I think it's breaking news from Marisol and our Disney Adventures.
That hurts. That hurts.
I found that out
actually.
Yeah, I found that out 2 days ago, 3 days ago. It was crazy. But how do we feel about that?
Well, I mean, for me, it's easily my favorite ride in all of Epcot. It beats Test Track, it beats Soarin', it beats Mission Space, it beats Frozen. I'm sorry, that's the one for me that is a no-brainer, must do at least 2 to 3 times when we're in Epcot every single trip. So this one's going to leave a mark, I think. I'm not going to be happy about that at all, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And Marisol, what do you think of that not so great news?
I'm not going to cry on TV.
Don't worry, you're on YouTube. It's fine.
Literally today, the boys asked to go to YouTube, and Spaceship Earth, that's their favorite ride because they love the games inside, but they absolutely love seeing themselves with the character. You know how they take the picture and you pick your future. That's their favorite thing to do, and I love to do that. I'm really stunned. I'm stunned and I'm sad.
I think for a couple of years, we know that Epcot is going through a massive change. And for a long time, I was feeling like Epcot is not going to touch Spaceship Earth because it's the ride. You can see it from the highway. You can see everything about it. And they won't change that until they bring in Guardians of the Galaxy, maybe some other stuff in Epcot. But they've said, right, it's going to shut down for 2.5 years and just go for it. Yeah, so it's it hurts me a little bit because Illuminations is going as well, and I love Illuminations. And now
Ellen, I love Ellen. I know you. Did you used to do Ellen? The Ellen. And
I only did Ellen once.
So it's a great ride to go and take a nap for Juan, my husband. He likes the 45-minute AC break. But the kids and I love that ride, and I was sad to see that go, and I'm sad about Illuminations, and I was sad about those. But now that you said Spaceship Earth, it sort of takes it to a new level. Kind of like, what are you doing to us? What's going on?
And I don't know if you think about this, Walt. When I think we discussed the Great Movie Ride, how taking that central ride out of Hollywood Studios, how we felt about Great Movie Ride going. Now they're doing the same with Spaceship Earth. I mean, they're not taking out Spaceship Earth; they're just updating it. But it's that main attraction ride taking out of the out of the park.
Years. Yeah, it's not like a short. Usually, 6 months, but 2.5 years. That's a lot.
Yeah. Well, what do you think?
Well, I will say this. That's the one thing we got to remember is it's not ultimately going away. It will be back. They're just doing a massive refurb on it. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that they are refurbishing and reimagining the entire front of the park. Yeah. So I get it. It's just going to kind of hurt for a little while that it's gone. 2.5 years seems like a really long time, and it is. But ultimately, it will be back. What I'm hoping for is I really hope they don't reimagine the entire ride. They're going to put in a new track system. I'm okay with that. That's fine. Put a new track system in. But I hope that for the most part, the integrity of the ride stays the same. I don't need it to be too updated. I like the fact that it's an older ride. I think it kind of gives us a nod back to the old days of how animatronics used to be. And it's a way to kind of remember that and see the evolution. Look at how the old rides used to be. And we know what we have today. So it's going to hurt to not have it for 2.5 years. But that being said, I just hope they don't change it entirely.
Yeah, I think for me, the first half of that ride for me is perfect. I think it's a very good flow of time, starting from the caveman right up to, the invention of the internet. It kind of feels timeless, like it just is continuous. You can tell the evolution of time through that ride. Now, for me, the second half of that ride, when you're going backwards, that was never really meant to be there. That was meant to be what the future was meant to be like, but actually seeing it rather than being on screens. I would like them to do something with that space because it's all just lights and dotted lights. Right. So maybe some sort of interactive thing with the screens. I don't know, but maybe if they reimagine the second half of that ride and update it, I think that would be my thing. If there's one thing you guys could change in Spaceship Earth, as we know it's being, changed and updated, what would you change? I'm going to ask Walt first.
I would change. I know everybody likes the interactive part of it. I like the interactive part. I just want that updated. I want more choices in there. I would like that to be a little bit newer and a little bit better. I like it. I think it's cool, and it's fun to do. I just wish they would update that. The backwards part, I always assumed that the only reason why there was really nothing to do was because they couldn't do anything, because that was you going down back to the beginning of the ride, and there's no other thing they could do. But you're right. If they could change that, that would be great. But for me, it would just be the interactive part. I don't want to lose it. I just want them to update it.
Love it. Marisol, what do you think?
I actually didn't know that the second half of that ride was supposed to be the future. So that is exciting. I'm very excited to maybe see that. But the one thing that just drives me nuts getting on that ride is that I can't see anything in the caveman, like the mammoths and when they're fighting. I'm always, maybe it's me, maybe it's the age, but I'm always squinting and I can't see anything. So I would like for that to be like, it would be cool if it was a real mammoth with better lighting and background and real animatronics cavemen and things like that. I think that would be cool.
I don't think it's your eyesight. I actually think that was done purposely, because if you think about it, the only source of light they really had back then was when they invented fire.
Yes.
So they wouldn't have had a lot of light anyway. So I feel like they've done that on purpose.
So that it could be realistic, authentic.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I think. That's what I think. If there's one thing I could change about the ride, everyone knows I'm going to say this. Please take out the line, the Phoenicians invented the alphabet. They did not invent the alphabet. People keep asking me, then who did invent the alphabet? And I'm like, well, it's a source of people from like Syria, Lebanon, Israel, that area of the world where they created language based around the Egyptian hieroglyphics. And then through trade, they went throughout and dispersed around the world. That's just me being a teacher.
I can't get rid of that, Dan. They have t-shirts for that. Are you kidding?
But every time I hear Dame Judy don't say, do you remember who invented the ABCs? Thank the Phoenicians. They invented them. And I'm like, no, they didn't.
I was live streaming when you first told me that, Dan. You're like, no, that's not true. And then that's when I learned. And so I started telling everybody else, that's not true, as a matter of fact.
And what's worse, they make t-shirts.
Yes. I almost bought one.
They make t-shirts saying, thank the Phoenicians.
It's like my favorite line in the whole ride. You can't get rid of that line.
I know we're going to be differences on that, but...
and I don't even mind that it's not true.
I mean, they got everything right. They got the burning of Alexandria right. They've got, you know, the roads from Rome and the Greece with the mathematicians and the Egyptians. I'm like, you got this perfectly. And then the Phoenicians invented the alphabet, and I'm like, no, I can't.
It's a quick line.
So yeah, Spaceship Earth again is having a little bit of a change, but I thought today we would maybe go around and talk about some different pavilions about Future World and maybe some things that you guys love and some stuff that you might want changing. So I think let's go with Walt, and then we'll go around. Just give me something about Future World that you like to do, or a ride, or something to eat, or anything.
Well, in Future World, for me, I really like the land area over there. Obviously, it has sunshine seasons, which is really nice. Good place to eat. Living with the Land is a highly underrated ride. It might even be my second favorite. I know that's probably going to sound crazy to a lot of people, but I really enjoy that ride. It's very relaxing, very informative. And of course, you have Soarin', which is in there as well. I love that area over there. I like being over that way. And also they have over that way, which I think a lot of people miss, is they have that little popcorn stand where you can get 3 different flavors of popcorn. That is really, we got it this year for the first time. I think it's like cheese, buffalo. I don't even remember what the 3 of them were, but they were awesome. Oh, and like sour cream, I think. They're fantastic. But I love the land area over there. That's what I like in Future World the best.
Walt, this is why we're friends. First thing, when you said the land, you said sunshine seasons. Before Soarin', before Living with the Land, you said great food at sunshine seasons, and I completely agree with you. Now, Epcot has amazing food from all over the world, but if you want to get something quick in Future World, sunshine seasons is number 1. Definitely.
Yes.
Such a great variety. Really, really awesome food. The Mongolian beef, I'm done. It's great. It's amazing. And then the popcorn stand, I'm going to save that when I talk about it because it's amazing. But yeah, the Land has got some incredible rides there, and the Circle of Life, rest in peace. But I would like to maybe talk about that in just a second. Marisol, what do you think of Living with the Land? And is it something that you guys and the family love to do, like Living with the Land and Soarin'?
We spend so many hours there at the Land. I think a lot of our hours. There was a time when we used to not go into the World Showcase just because the kids were small. There was not enough quick, fun stuff to do quick enough. But now they like to watch the shows. Well, the older girls do. But the Land is where we've spent a lot of hours. I've even laid down and looked at all the hot air balloons up above me. And I'm sure I've dozed off there a time or two.
I've done that too. I can.
Living with the Land, the ride is one of my favorite rides. I don't know why it's so impactful, but we bought the book and we came home and tried to replicate, you know, what they do there. And of course, all of our plants died, so we couldn't figure it out. But we tried to do some fancy thing with the water, and he got a pump and the hose. I don't know, but it's so amazing that when you go to eat at the seasons, that a lot of the vegetables, everything there, a lot of it is from the Land ride. Yeah. And so they grow it themselves. I thought that was really, really, really cool. And yes. So I think we eat there more than anywhere else when we're at Epcot. That's definitely a number 1 go-to for us.
There was a live stream. I think it may have been your last trip or the trip before. I think it was your last trip where you spent most of your live stream in Living with the Land.
I told you.
Yeah,
We spent
I just
a lot of
remember you guys sitting there and just, it was so much fun having the whole family like just sitting around the table and talking and chatting, and it was just so much fun.
I loved
And
it.
what's really great about the Land Pavilion is it's the largest pavilion in the whole of Epcot, because people think, oh, it's actually really, really small. But if you think of all the greenhouses behind Living with the Land, and then how big Soarin' is,
Yes.
it's huge. And a little bit of a spoiler, guys, I've been backstage to the Land, because that's where all the cast members walk past to get into the park. It's huge. It is absolutely huge. And then obviously they have to do stuff behind where the greenhouses are, and it's just where all the equipment stuff is. It's a huge pavilion. And I just love the fact we haven't really talked about Soarin'. We've talked a little bit about Living in Land, but most of it has been about food. Which it's true.
You're right.
And I think what's really cool is that you got Garden Grill, which I think is one of the best restaurants in the whole of Disney.
Right. Yeah, it's true.
Not just in Epcot, in the whole of Disney. You have Sunshine Seasons, which I could put in my top 5 favorite quick service. And then you have Living with the Land, which is actually, at its time when it first opened, it was so popular. That's why they have a fast pass with it. But now,
I always wondered.
everyone's like, why does this ride have a fast pass? But before Soarin' even came along, this was one of the most popular rides in Epcot, surprisingly. And I quite like the fact they've still kept the fast pass, because there are people who love that ride, and we all love it.
I used to fast pass on our last trip for
Yeah.
Living in the Land.
For sure. I can admit I didn't go on it last trip, just because it was just all crazy, and there's so many things that I did miss this year, but I wish I still went on it. And I think everyone really just walks past it to go to Soarin', which I think is a shame, because Living with the Land is one of those really great attractions. Something very, very, very different. But Soarin' is great. I think Soarin' is also one of the best rides at Disney as well, despite Flight of Passage coming along and kind of, maybe making Soarin' a little less what it is. But I think Soarin' has been a very popular ride as well for the fans. So Soarin', prefer the old Soarin' or the new Soarin'?
Old.
Old?
Hands down, easy.
I think old, just because that's what I first saw, that's what was imprinted, and that's what I was used to. I'm glad they didn't change the message before going into Soarin'. I'm glad that's still the same.
Yeah.
But I miss the old smells sometimes. I like the citrus trees.
I miss the old Soarin' a lot. Hey, paging Mr. Morrow, how's it going? Welcome. Good to see you guys. Paging Mr. Morrow, paging you got me in my brain now. Sorry, Soarin', the old Soarin'. One of my favorite scenes was the orange groves, just because I feel like in the old ride you can really smell. You get a lot more of the senses. But with the new one, I think I prefer that you've gone a little bit all around the world. So if they kind of mixed it together, I think having that really great smells from the old Soarin' and then the good all around the world from the new Soarin', I think that's a match made in heaven. I would maybe get rid of the leaning tower of the Eiffel Tower, because if you don't sit in the middle of Soarin', the Eiffel Tower is going to look really wonky.
Yeah, that's true.
But I do like it. Soarin' it's a must-do for me. I think it's probably my favorite ride at Epcot, apart from Spaceship Earth. So hey Nate, what's going on? Nate and Veronica. I don't like the tower. No, not a lot of people agree with that tower. Same with the Taj Mahal. I think the Taj Mahal looks a little weird as well.
Well, I heard that the Taj Mahal was CGI'd in, that they didn't get permission to fly over that.
Oh, really?
And that was why. I don't know how true that is, but that's what I originally had heard, that they didn't get permission to fly over it, so they had to CGI it. And I think that's part of the reason why I'm not as happy with that ride. Not happy, but I don't like it as much as the original, because some of it doesn't seem, were they able to really get that elephant to throw the dust up into the sky just at the right time? Probably not.
Oh, Nate says it's CGI. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I wasn't too sure because I know they did a lot around the world, but I wasn't sure about the Taj Mahal. So, but yeah, and there was one other ride in the Land Pavilion which was really underrated, pretty much so far off the radar that they've just shut it down, and that was the Circle of Life.
Yeah, that was fun.
So Walt, you've seen the Circle of Life.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, the environmental show about recycling.
Yeah, Marisol, have you seen it?
It was very sad. We saw it a few times until I just couldn't. I would get sad watching it, and I'm guessing maybe they didn't like seeing some somber faces coming out of there.
So it's good because I think a lot of people, when I tell people about the Circle of Life, a lot of people haven't actually seen it. So I'm glad that both of you actually have seen it.
Oh yeah.
And it is so underrated, and I actually am going to miss it quite a lot.
Yeah.
But the problem is you had Soarin', such a massive ride. And then if you didn't go to Soarin' and you didn't want to leave the Land Pavilion because it was raining, because it's Florida, you go with Living with the Land. You wouldn't go to Circle of Life. It was really the third choice, really, and it never really got the love that it deserved. Now, if I was Armchair Imagineer for the day, the first thing I would put in that spot is a Wally attraction.
Yeah, they could do that. Absolutely.
Wally was all about the environment, all about, taking care of the plants and traveling across the world. It's great. It's just the whole point of the Wally film was about land and recycling and health. And I think Wally deserves more stuff in the parks as well. For me, I just see Wally there, but again, like, it's sad that the Circle of Life did go. So DG Explorer says it's been several years since I saw the Circle of Life. Yeah, it's a while, but
I'll tell you something. It gave us a lasting effect because when we first saw Circle of Life for the first time, before that we had never recycled. We didn't recycle, and then after Melissa saw Circle of Life, we started recycling, and ever since then we've recycled. So that show had an effect on her for sure, and me. But that's where we started recycling after we saw that show.
Wow, that's amazing that it has that impact on you and your family.
It did for us.
Wow, that is amazing. Awesome. So the Land Pavilion, awesome. So great pick. Well, I really, really love that. All right, Marisol, it's your next. Where would you like to go in Future World?
In Future World, can I say something I missed? Do you guys remember the Kodak spot?
Okay. If people in the chat didn't know what that was,
is that Figment's ride?
So wasn't it next to Figment?
I
thought it was when you came out of Figment, right?
Oh, I'm not too sure because I think Figment has always been there, but there's been different incarnations of Figment. Okay.
So there used to be a place you'd come out and you can do all this photography stuff and you could email it to yourself.
Ah, yeah. Okay. So it's, I know what you mean. It's the after Figment ride, the Image Works.
The music is there. All of that
Image
stuff
Works.
is there.
Yeah.
Image. Okay, I remember that too.
I remember that. Yeah.
I do remember that.
I love that place. I wish my kids would have more fun there. They kind of are like over it in a few minutes, and I thought that they'd want to spend at least half an hour to an hour there, jumping and playing. And so I really like that place. But I do emailing all those cool pics to myself.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you said that because Journey into Imagination was going to be my pick and that whole building. And Image Works is something that, again, kind of like the Circle of Life, really underrated because you get off that ride and people just walk through that whole area and go straight to the gift shop and then off to their next ride.
That's right.
There's so much stuff that you can do there. And actually, the whole DVC lounge that's up above that used to be a second half of the Image Works. So
really?
Yeah, they only had it up there for a little bit, but there used to be some other stuff up there before it became a DVC lounge ages ago. But it was the Rainbow Tunnel. But they've slowly, because Journey into Imagination is only really a 5 to 10 minute ride, like wait time. You know, people don't often go there too often because there's so many other rides they want to do. I mean, if you asked, you know, your 7-year-old daughter or your 6 or your 8-year-old son what ride you want to do in Epcot, they'll either say Frozen or Test Track or Soarin'. They probably won't say Journey into Imagination. That's why, again, it's a little bit overlooked. And that's why a lot of people don't really know about ImageWorks, because they don't ride the ride. But there's so much stuff. You can create your own Figment dragon. You can create that music stuff. There's a remembering the puzzle thing on the wall, which I love because I have a terrible memory. I always get that wrong. No, I think it's such a wonderful little spot. And actually, it's never busy. And it's normally really relaxing in there as well.
Yes, I agree.
D&G Explorers, I think the Kodak moment was upstairs. My first visit in 1993 was when I took photos. So the Kodak stuff must have been upstairs then, which was maybe linked with ImageWorks, I believe. I'll need to do some homework.
I want to say it was Kodak sponsored at the time.
Yeah, I know Kodak did sponsor Journey into Imagination.
Yes, they did.
Because Kodak had a big
2001.
Because Kodak had a big involvement with Disney. They had a big contract because, you know, we didn't have phones to take pictures, or they didn't have these cameras that you could do today, and you'd have to send in the films and stuff. And they had one at each park. So Kodak was a big partner to Disney. So yeah, they must have had.
Aren't they still a partner with Disney? Because don't you still have the Kodak picture spots in and around certain areas, or is that Nikon?
I think it could be Nikon now.
Okay, maybe it is.
Sure.
I thought it was Kodak.
I haven't seen Kodak really for a long time in the
That's true too, yeah. How up to date I am.
To be honest, I just want to take my picture and then head off to
the next thing. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I love the ImageWorks. I love the whole part of it, and you said your kids absolutely love it in there.
We always do Figment. My kids always ask to go to Figment. Even the big girls, not just the little ones.
Oh, I brought a friend on who's never been to Disney this trip, and her first reaction coming off Figment was, "What was that all about?" And I say to her, "This is one of the most, ironically, imaginative, great rides of Disney that you won't get anywhere else in the world."
That's right.
I agree.
When I had my Disney interview, they asked me who was my favorite Disney character, and I said, "Can I have one from the parks that's not in a film?" And they were like, "Yeah, sure." And I was like, "It's Figment," because Figment for me was like a figment of your imagination. Walt had an imagination of, you know, bringing out Disneyland, and then it became reality, and then Figment became a reality. Like, it's just, I am quite inspired by Figment, and now Figment is kind of like the mascot of Epcot now. So you see it, that's why you see him everywhere.
Yes.
So,
he's got plushies now and everything.
So
T-shirts and all kinds of merchandise.
And you know who's a big Figment fan? And that's Megan. She loves Figment.
Yeah, she has a lot of stuff Figment. You see it all the time.
She has the Figment ears and the Figment hats, and it's crazy. Thank you, Juan. I really appreciate that. Awesome. So yeah, Journey into Imagination, the ride, moving from ImageWorks to the ride. I think it's a lot of people are really like, oh, I used to love the original Journey into Imagination with Dreamfinder, and the songs were better. And then since they brought in Eric Idle from Monty Python, it's, you know, not as good as it was. But for me, I always get that great sense of happiness when I see that, when I go on that ride. It always makes me laugh and smile and sing all the time. So it's a must-do for me, and I know it's a must-do for the whole Our Disney Adventures family.
Oh, yeah.
Walt, Mouse Talk, are a fan of Journey into Imagination every time?
We like it. We really do. We don't love it. I will admit that. It's not a must do, but we do it. Like, we did it when we were on our last trip. We went and we did it, and we really enjoy it. And then you get the one little spark song in your head. Yep. And you'll sing it for like the next half an hour as you're walking around the park, and people will be looking at you. I'm like, what? I'm singing the Figment song.
And every time I hear that ride, I'm just seeing Eric Idle in the moon, just like shaking his head.
Yeah, in the moon. Yeah, absolutely. No, it's a fun ride. It really, really is. It's sad that it doesn't get the attention that it should get. And the fact of the matter is that if they reimagined it just a little bit and tweaked it just a tad, it could be a really, really good ride. And it really could. It could get back on the map and be something that's considered a more popular ride than it is. And I still to this day don't understand why Figment is not a meet and greet character in the parks.
They used to be a meet and greet.
Oh, did it? Like
I think
like a
when they
life-size
first opened the ride, I believe my memory might be really terrible.
Huh.
I think someone said that there was a meet and greet with him.
Because I know Dreamfinder used to do the meet and greet where
Yeah.
he would come out. But I mean, like I would like to see like a life-size, Figment like you see with Pluto and Mickey and everybody else. I would love that. That would be awesome.
That'd be really, really awesome. I'd love that. Love that too.
Dan, if you still have connections, you should tell them.
I'll just go on the phone right now and just say, hey, have you ever thought about bring Figment as a meet and greet character? But the thing is, Figment is he has such a big cult following, especially amongst Disney fans. Like when you go to like D23, you see all these Dreamfinder costumes and people in like Figment cosplays and things like that. He even has his own comic book, which I think is awesome. I need to pick that up next time I go to Disney. I saw it this year and I was like, I need to pick up the Figment comic book because I'm not massively into like comic books myself, but just having one. There's a Haunted Mansion one as well, but another story for another day. But I think those really cult following attractions, are popular, but just amongst the really hardcore Disney fans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So awesome, love it. My next pick, because my pick kind of linked with Marisol's pick. We're actually not going very far at all. We are going to the building right next to Journey to Imagination that used to host the King of Pop. And that was Captain EO. My goodness, the day they told me they were getting rid of Captain EO for the 20 billionth time really sunk my heart. Now, I grew up in the 90s. I wasn't, I didn't know all of Michael Jackson's music. I was literally right at the tail end of his career. But I loved Michael Jackson. He is in my top 3 favorite artists of all time. I love Michael Jackson. And when I read the map going into Epcot after like not going since I was a baby, and I saw a description saying a show featuring Michael Jackson, I was like, I don't even care what this is. I am going straight there and watching this show with Michael Jackson in it. And I saw the show and I was just like, this reminds me kind of like Star Wars mixed with Michael Jackson cheesiness mixed with Thriller. It was just weird. It was bizarre.
That's a good word.
And I have the whole soundtrack on my phone. It's fantastic. But I think it's one of those things that really is just again, next to Journey into Imagination, it's like the 2 weirdest things that you can put together in that kind of area of the park. And look, I miss Captain EO more than anything. But you can still watch it on YouTube. There's still the whole 20-minute video on YouTube. But yeah, it was great. Give us your best Michael Jackson, Dan, Walt.
No way.
Not happening. Not happening.
Yeah, I won't. There you go. I won't give him any justice. I won't do him any justice.
But there was
turn him over in his grave.
But we did try the new show that replaced Captain EO this year, and that was the Disney and Pixar Shorts show.
Right.
Have you guys seen that?
Yes.
We did not. No, we didn't.
Okay. I don't know about you, Marisol, and the rest of your family, but I loved it.
I mean, and we talked about this, that maybe I cried too much, but I shed a tear. Those videos, they were really beautiful. I missed the ground shaking. I missed the music, but I love the new shows. And my kids are just now, the 2 little ones are just now starting to get into the glasses. They're wearing their glasses and actually watching the 3D stuff. So it's exciting, and I loved it. I really did. I forced the family to go this last time, the group of 16 that I last took, and they all loved it. They all were like,
I'm sorry I missed it.
I'm really kind of, actually, I'm not surprised that people don't really visit it because, who wants to go to Disney to watch like a couple of movies, like short movies? They want to get on rides and do stuff and eat food like I would normally do. But we were just like, let's go check this out. Like I think it was the day I was seeing Resort TV 1. I was like, right, I need some time to kill. We've got some time before dinner. Let's go and see these Pixar shorts. And I went in there and I was pleasantly surprised. They were absolutely fantastic, and they like you said, they really got to me. They were very emotional, and I could not recommend this show to to anybody. It is fantastic. It is absolutely fantastic, and I think people should definitely go and see that. So, Captain EO, Disney Pixar shorts building all in one is my pick.
Dan, do you remember what was it? Marisol, do you remember what was there before that too?
Was it Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
Kids.
Yes, Honey, I Shrunk the Audience. Yep.
Oh, the audience. Yes, yes, yes.
Did you see that?
No, I did not see that.
I saw it. It was really good, actually. Captain EO was great, but I kind of missed Honey, I Shrunk the Audience. I thought that was really, really cool. First time I ever went to Epcot, I saw it, and I thought it was really cool.
But you ask kids now if they know what Honey, I Shrunk the Audience is.
I don't know what that is.
No idea. See, I barely knew it when I grew up, so that tells you how old I am. I'm like a child. But yeah, no, I do miss Captain EO, and but yeah, that's that kind of, those shows I think are something quite unique to Disney, and they do it better than no one else. So right, let's move on to, let's go back round again. So where would you like to go next?
Well, for next best place to go for me is, I guess I used to like Interventions. Now I know they're kind of reimagining that whole area, and I wish they would reimagine it a little bit more, because it's not quite what it used to be. But over to the left, over towards Test Track and Mission Space area would be my next area to go. I really love Test Track. I think that's a cool ride. Melissa hates it, if you can believe that. She really does. She does not like that ride at all. She likes nothing about it. But the boys and I, we love it. I think it's great. So that would be next for me, would be Mission Space or Mouse Gear. I really like Mouse Gear.
We'll talk about Mouse Gear in just a sec, because I want to bring up Mouse Gear. Marisol, what about Test Track? I want to hear your views on Test Track.
I miss the old dummies getting beat up back.
Yep.
Now it just seems like to get inside, it's going to be a really long time. And my kids, everybody loves building that car, and it's nice, but I have not built a good one yet. Maybe that's why I'm still not into it.
Can I just say,
build a winner.
Those dummies were, I can just see them in my mind right now.
I can hear it.
I just remember back in the day when, you know, Test Track, you can get on and ride it over and over and over again without waiting. Like, you waited like 20 minutes. And every time I walk past, I just see all these dummies being hit in the head or squished or you know, crashed into a wall. And I just thought it was hysterical.
This is cool.
I loved it. And I just got, thank you so much, Dana. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. I know you're watching. I know not typing, but I really do appreciate that. Hey Sherry, how are you? But yeah, no. And then when they changed Test Track, I was just like, how could they make it any better? And I watched it for the first. I went on it for the first time. I was like, this is amazing. Like, I didn't know it could get as good as this. They kept the ride track the same. They made it kind of like Tron-esque, futuristic kind of thing, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And creating your own car is a hard task, let me tell you. It is really difficult. But I always go power.
I like that you can still drive it after, you know, because that after thing, and you can put it on your card.
There's that testing area that you can race around, and actually I've spent a lot of time there. So have we. I'm a big car guy. I love cars. And just being able to create your own car, and I wouldn't do the single rider line, because I think creating your own car is part of the experience, and being that competitive person against other people. And but yeah, so if I did it with like a friend, I would like, right, I'm gonna do all like the power stuff and the boring stuff, and you could just make it pink with sparkles on it. It's fine. So yeah, no, I absolutely love Test Track, and it's a really great ride. I just really missed that it was only 20 minutes back in the day, and now it's like 90 minutes. So
yeah, so you're going to be there even with the fast pass.
Yeah, for sure. True. It is the most popular ride in Epcot for sure. So in my opinion, so yeah, love Test Track. But we also brought up Mouse Gear. if you ask me which I prefer, Mouse Gear or the Emporium, I would take Mouse Gear any day. Because Mouse Gear is the biggest Disney store that's inside a theme park in the world. Apart from Disney Springs, World of Disney, because that's kind of not in a theme park. This is the biggest one in any theme park. And I love it. I think it's fantastic. Such great variety. If you want something specific out, whatever you want, whether that's a jersey, Disney pins, toys, Mouse Gear will probably have it all. So, but I think they're getting it reimagined as well. That's the rumors. Because it kind of looks.
That's where we all get lost. If we go into Mouse Gear, everyone has something different they want to look at, and it takes we have to go on a scavenger hunt finding each other. But it's because they have so much cool stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Walt, what?
Well, I agree. It's a great store. I think it's wonderful. That was one of the things Melissa said when we were down there in Epcot the one day. She's like, "We got to go to Mouse Gear. We haven't gone to Mouse Gear yet. Let's go." And it's because of that reason. It's so big, but it has everything. It really does, and it has specific Epcot stuff as well. But it really does. It has everything in there. I enjoyed that store. I think it's great.
And if you're a Disney pin trader like I am, and Corey and Megan and everybody else, they have like a Disney pin board on each of the cash registers.
Oh, wow.
So there we go. So if you are finding a really good place to find Disney pins, I would definitely check out Mouse Gear as well. But yeah, it's a great shop. I love Mouse Gear. You can play hide and seek in there easily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I mean, there's a group of like 23-year-old group of us, and we're still playing hide and seek in this massive store. You know, who doesn't? So no, it's great. It's absolutely awesome. So I love that. Awesome, great two pits, Test Track and Mouse Gear. Marisol, back to you.
I started to really get into the shows around the world, but I love Mexico. It's part of my heritage, but on top of that, I fell in love with the movie Coco, which I refused to watch it. I refused to watch it for a very long time, but I just watched it. They forced me to maybe about a month ago or less.
Yeah.
And I hear that they're going to do a whole new Coco ride. I like that they have the Donald Duck ride. I would definitely miss the Donald Duck ride because I absolutely love it. But Coco was such a cool movie that even Juan got teared up, and Juan's not a teary up type of guy usually. And so I would love to see a show there other than just a ride. But I know there's not much space, although I think they said there's 6 or 7 spots left in the world as far as real estate goes. But since they're bringing in, what's that new ride they're bringing in?
They're bringing in Ratatouille.
Ratatouille just took one of the plots of lands. Yeah. So
I think with the evolution of World Showcase, they're bringing in maybe 2 or 3 more countries at some point over the next couple of years. But there is actually surprisingly a lot of space back there. And maybe this could be a discussion for another topic about the future of World Showcase, as well as the expansion of Future World itself. And I think, bringing in these properties like Coco, and they already did it with Frozen, now they're doing it in Ratatouille. Everyone was very upset when Maelstrom, sadly was taken down. But it's kind of weird because before Frozen was even announced, I'm going to be honest, nobody was rushing to Maelstrom. I'm going to be honest. People did like Maelstrom. I'm not saying that people didn't like Maelstrom, but people, they didn't go like, oh, we're at Epcot. The first ride we got to go to is Maelstrom. Really? No. So when they announced Frozen to take over Maelstrom, everyone was like losing their minds. They were like, you can't do that to Maelstrom. We love Maelstrom. It's one of the rides we go to at Epcot, not the best ride at Epcot. And I'm just like it with all this evolution of properties, and I think something like Coco would be a great addition to Mexico. If they touch Grand Fiesta Tour and the 3 Caballeros, I will be deeply saddened. But if they made a show or a separate attraction with Coco, that would be amazing. Same with things like in the UK, if they did like an Alice in Wonderland or a Mary Poppins themed attraction, that would be cool. But there's so much in terms of like the future of what Epcot is looking at, and you can see that, you know, the changes in Spaceship Earth, Guardians of the Galaxy, maybe a Journey into Imagination. We don't know. We got a Mission Space restaurant coming in. This Epcot is going to look very different in the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
Dan, I'll say this about intellectual properties, and I don't want to get into it too much, is there's a place for the IPs in Disney World. But what makes Disney World so unique is the fact that they have so many rides that have nothing to do with IPs.
Yeah.
Haunted Mansion, Big Thunder, Pirates of the Caribbean, Maelstrom, any of those type rides, they're not based off of IPs. They're just rides based off of areas, you know, different things. But they had, you know, the ride came before the movies in Pirates of the Caribbean. You know, the movies were based off the ride. And I think IPs have a place in the parks, but I don't like that they replace rides.
No.
That's what I don't like. I think they can be added, but I don't like that they replace them.
Well, if you look at probably one of the only places now where the IPs are really small is Animal Kingdom. You know, you have the world of Pandora, obviously based around Avatar. You have Finding Nemo, the musical, and Festival of the Lion King, but you've got Kilimanjaro Safaris, you have Dinosaur, Expedition Everest, Cali River Rapids, Primeval World, you know, all these great attractions that aren't based around IPs at all.
Well, I think Dinosaur is, isn't it? Isn't that based off the movie Dinosaur?
I think Dinosaur came after, because Dinosaur was based around Countdown to Extinction. That was the ride there before.
Right, that's what it was beforehand, right.
I'm not sure if they did, because there wasn't any dinosaurs from the movie in the actual ride, I don't believe.
Okay. I don't remember. I'd have to look it up too.
But yeah, I think look, with Epcot, it's going to change. It's going to change, and I think Mexico will have a hopefully, don't get rid of Grand Fiesta Tour, but maybe Coco will have a bit of an appearance there as well.
Well, it should. It should. It is the Mexico Pavilion.
Yeah.
It's incredibly. It should be there, absolutely, in some way, shape, or form. The fact that it's not there at all. Well, I mean, it is there a little bit. You see it when you first walk into the pavilion. You'll see some Coco stuff in the windows that they have, which is really kind of neat too. If you haven't seen that, I like that. But yeah, it definitely needs to have a bigger presence for sure.
Yeah.
But the old things that they used to have in the window before Coco were also extremely authentic and very true to the heritage. So I did like that, and I do miss that. Good thing I have pictures and videos of all that. But you know what I completely forgot was that Nemo and that entire the huge fish tanks.
The seas.
Yeah, the living seas.
About that. And we spend a lot of time looking at those sea animals.
Yeah. It's true.
I might pick that over Mexico.
I think just going back to the whole Mexico thing, if you take something like Frozen that came in, and you look at the Norway, the Norway era, you still have the authenticity of what Norway is all about. You have the temple where you can see all the old stuff about Norse mythology, and then you have the Frozen ride. So they still keep both very important to each other. Yeah. And say what you say, Norway's tourists went up, like numbers and money and tourism went up after Frozen was released. Coco is like the highest grossing movie in Mexico that was ever released, I believe. It is just, it's crazy. It's crazy how these Disney films could do so much for their countries. And I think putting them in World Showcase, but not bombarding them, like saying, right, all right, we're in Mexico. Here's Coco. There needs to have like a balance. Right. So yeah, no, I think it's great. And the Seas with Nemo and Friends, I mean, if you want a cute, fun, indoor, relaxing ride, and you walk through the doors and you get a nice cool of fresh air, like air-conditioned air, Seas with Nemo and Friends, hands down. And it has one of the best aquariums I've ever been to as well.
I think that they did a good job attaching the emotional imprint of the movie, of the Nemo movie, the Coco movie, the Frozen movie, the ride, to the movie, to the tourism. I think all of that basing, everything selling on emotion sells so much.
Just wait until they bring an Inside Out ride so they can feed on your emotions while looking at emotions.
Are they going to do that?
Look, if it was me, I wouldn't be surprised if they brought in a ride with Inside Out at Epcot. I think it's just too perfect to put there. I think Inside Out is going to have a presence in Epcot at some point because, if I'm honest, it's going to be really controversial, but I think Journey into Imagination might be...
I'm with you
I
there.
don't think Figment will go. I think Figment will still have a presence in the parks as like a mascot, but I think with the times that are changing, I do believe Inside Out and the imagination of Riley's, head and imagination is a perfect fit there.
It really is, especially with the after ride things. But Figment used to be, wasn't he a main mascot and then taken out, and then there was huge complaints, and so he was brought back in, right?
Well, they took out Dreamfinder, which was the character at the beginning, and then they took him out. And there was a lot of backlash with that. But I don't really know.
So you think the ride would be gone?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, I can get out of my armchair Imagineer chair and
let's get a pool going.
Right, so we're coming back to me. The last thing I want to pick up is something that I have to go to every single time. And this might sound silly, it might sound a little bit stupid, but the one thing I have to go to in Epcot every single time is Club Cool.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
I love Club Cool. I think it is a very unique places that you won't get at a theme park anywhere. And for me, it's something that I think really... It's weird. It's because everyone wants to try all these flavors. You're doing it together as a family, tasting and seeing things that you like and dislike. And I think it's something that is very small, but it's so popular. It is incredible.
It is.
If you know the history of me and Club Cool, you guys know the history of me and Club Cool. You know that me and Corey Meets World had a daring challenge where we both drank 10 Beverly shots. I was fine. Corey was maybe, he was. It took him a while to get over it. We did it on his live stream, and actually I have that vlog coming up very, very soon. I can't wait to edit that because it's gonna be hysterical. But Club Cool I think is fantastic. I think the Beverly Challenge is very, very fun, especially if you give it to maybe somebody who's never heard of Beverly. I like making up saying, oh, it's delicious, it tastes like candy floss, or it's something really delicious, and they drink it and like, oh, it's so bitter and horrible, and I'm like, oh, I'm just chugging them down. It's great. Now I've also I'm gonna make it like a challenge maybe every single time I go, where I'm going to invite people to come do it with me. I know Rachel from Disney Princess Couture is going to do it with me and Corey, hopefully next year. So anybody who wants to do the Beverly Challenge, come do it with us, because it's something that I think just brings friends and family together, despite how Beverly tastes.
I've never been in Club Cool yet.
No way.
I have not set foot in there. I waited outside as the girls. Remember, were you there when Zoe was like, you've got to do it? It was really late. I'm not sure.
Zoe and I were telling, I think it was Mia, like, oh, we need to go to Club Cool. We're like, no, we need to go see Josh and Jenna from Resort TV 1. I remember that so clearly.
Mia's here. Mia, say hi.
Hi.
So they all wanted me to try it, and I kept telling Zoe, I did my research, Zoe. I was told it tastes bad. I didn't want to do it. And so I wanted to be prepared. I didn't want to taste it on camera on the live stream, because I thought you're going to see it come out of my nose, and something really crazy might happen. And so I actually have not even been inside of Club Cool. I can't wait to go one day. When are you guys going? Do you have your dates yet?
I believe I'm going in the last 2 weeks of August. I'm not sure yet, but that's what I'm thinking.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so I think it's something that I think people have to do at least once, because I think you can't really like. I feel like you can't really go there and not just even.
I am not trying the Beverly, Dan.
What, have you not tried it either?
Melissa liked it. She didn't mind it. I have not tried. I've gone in there, but I have not tried the Beverly.
I haven't either.
See, we can get on with the popcorn at Epcot, but then me and Melissa can go and do Beverly shots. It's fine.
Yes, you guys can go do the Beverly shots. I'm not doing it.
I don't think it's as bad as people say it is, because people in the chat are like, oh, it tastes like mouthwash or it tastes like bleach. And I'm like, have you ever tried bleach?
Yeah, I hope not. Let's hope not.
Like, how do you know? Like, you don't know. And I think everyone has different taste buds. I don't think it's the most pleasant thing in the world, but I don't think it's disgusting. And I'm just like, I'm getting them down, and I think it's, there's a little bit of an aftertaste, which is not pleasant. But it's kind of like you drink it, and I'm like, okay, I'm feeling like, I'm going through this experience with every other person doing this city challenge.
You're not alone. That's right.
I spoke to the cast member. It'll be in the vlog, where I asked him, has anybody done 10 Beverly shots? And he goes, no. And he goes, I can get you a tray. And I'm like, okay. He brings out this tray, and I start filling them up, lining them up. And it's fantastic. It was great. So
it was so cool, because we were watching you on Corey's stream, and it was so cool as he walked up and you're there. You're kind of like, that was a really, really cool time.
I love that. So yeah, Club Cool certainly is on my list. But unfortunately, guys, we are coming to the end of our stream. I just want to give a big shout out to everybody in the chat. Sherry, D&G Explorers, Wendy, Steve's World, D&G Explorers 1. We have so many other people who joined us earlier. Paige and Mr. Morrow, Nate was here. Noah was here. Mishi Janda Man was here. Just thank you so much for stopping by. Leanne was here. Dana, thank you so much. I really do appreciate that, and I hope you are getting better soon. Thank you so much for watching. Once we are finished here, please head over to my friends Josh and Jenna from Resort TV 1. They are live in the Magic Kingdom with Art Johns. Thank you, Kay Atwood, for stopping by as well. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for joining me on this episode. I know it was last minute, but I really do appreciate this so much. So firstly, I just want to say thank you, Marisol and Our Disney Adventures. You guys are absolutely awesome. Please, guys, go check out Our Disney Adventures. I was there pretty much from day one, and they grew from nothing to over 1,000 subscribers. You're saying what, 1,200, 300 now? I
don't think we're there yet. I think actually, Dan, I don't think we've reached 1,000 yet. We're like at 960. 971. 970.
Well, that's 1,000. That's you're pretty much there. But you guys are absolutely awesome, and love to the whole family. And thank you for joining. Walt, again, thank you so much for coming by. I really do appreciate it, and we always have a great time, despite having our Phoenicians line disputes.
It's my pleasure, Dan. We appreciate you thinking of us, and it was great being here tonight, and meeting Marisol for the first time is wonderful, and it's my pleasure being here for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is me in under 9 minutes. Okay, so I'm sorry I didn't get
you did great.
That's why I said
grab my ears. I couldn't get any headgear. It's probably messy behind me. So, but I was so excited to come on, Dan. Thank you so much. We are Ohana, and we really love you guys. So we were so excited. Mia was like, Mom, Dan sent you a message. And I was on the computer and I was like, oh, what's going on? And I dropped everything. It was like, straighten the hair. Whatever can happen. Okay, let's go.
Next time I will send an invite 30 minutes in advance.
30 minutes
or an hour or two.
I had so much fun.
But yeah, thank you so much, Our Disney Adventures, and congratulations, Mouse Talk, on getting over 1,000 subscribers as well. You guys really do deserve it. And I just want to share a little bit of love to my partner channels, Mickey's Magic. Megan, unfortunately, could not be here tonight. She had a little bit of a migraine, so she's just taking the week off, but she'll be back next week. In the next 2 weeks, it's October. Halloween season is coming up. We're going to do a very special Haunted Mansion episode where we'll not just have the Disney Fiasco team, but a couple of other special guests. Those invites will be going out very soon. And also, we will be talking about our favorite Disney Halloween movies as well, coming up in the next 2 weeks. As it's October, Halloween season is here, and we are super, super excited. So please go check out Megan from Mickey's Magic. She's absolutely awesome. Link will be in the description box down below. Also, please check out my other partner channel, Corey Fiasco. Again, Corey has not been able to come here for a couple of weeks. You know, the stresses of moving down to Disney from wherever he is, it's just a little bit crazy. So, but he's been here, he's been showing everybody some love. So please go show him some love. And he, you know, with all the stresses of moving, I think he needs a little bit of love as well. But he's doing awesome. So thank you so much to my partner channels as usual. Thank you to the Live Place for putting this stream on their website. They are absolutely awesome. Please go check out the Live Place. They have some great live streams on there, like Resort TV 1, Spokesman, and plenty of other shows. I believe you guys are on Live Place as well.
Well, we are. Melissa and I do, of course, our show on Thursdays. Every Thursday we do a Disney Talk live stream, and then I'm actually doing a single live stream on Tuesdays now called Mouse Madness, which is going to be a lot of fun. We'll do different topics. We'll touch on everything from Marvel to Disney to Lord of the Rings to Harry Potter. We're going to go all over the place. It's going to be a lot of fun. This coming Tuesday is our first one, and we're going to do my top 10 Marvel movies.
Nice. I'm super excited for that. I'll be there. I'll certainly be there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so thank you to my partner channels. Thank you to the Live Place. And thank you guys, Mouse Talk and our Disney Adventures, for joining me tonight. Please head over to Resort TV 1. Show them some love. Actually, in the chat of Resort TV 1, say Disney Dan sent me. And then hopefully they'll get a message and they'll be like, oh, Disney Dan just sent us over. That'll be really, really cool. Guys, please follow everybody in here on Twitter and on Instagram. You can find it all on, I believe it's Our Disney Adventures and Mouse Talk. It's both for Instagram and Twitter and all that the same. I'll put the links in.
Not Instagram, but Twitter for sure.
For Twitter and Instagram for Our Disney Adventures.
I figured out, yes, we got Twitter, Instagram, and one other thing, I figured out how to put it on our YouTube page. So on our channel page, I think I got the links up somehow. Hopefully they're working.
Well, I'll put the links down below.
Thank you, Dan. Yeah.
Down below. And also you can find me at Disney Dan on Twitter and on Instagram as well. I also do have a PayPal account. If you do want to donate to the channel, for the channel, that would be really much appreciated. But obviously it's not obligated or at all. It's just something to, you know, if you guys feel like donating, then you can donate. That's absolutely fine. But if you're here, you know, that's all I really ask for, because you guys are not my subscribers. You are my friends. We are on our way to 700 subscribers. We are so excited. We're getting there. And I always say every single week, live your life with a smile each and every day. And I'll see you guys real soon. Take care, guys. Have a magical night.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye. Bye.